My name is Amira, and my daughter is Fatima Lakhani. Here is her story. I'm sure you have all been wondering what happened to my daughter, Fatima Lakhani. It is a rather sad story. Fatima Lakhani is like no other person in this world. And I'm not just saying this because I'm her mother. She is the most truthful, honest, humble, and innocent person in the world. She couldn't even stand for all the injustice she faced in her lifetime, not only from her husband, but in the end, Disneyland, we thought was the happiest place on earth, disappointed her very deeply. Her family and her kids used to go to Disneyland and other theme parks just to escape the abuse happening in the household. Fatima became obsessed with the characters and meeting and interacting, and she started making YouTube videos. She realized she could never make her husband happy, ever, no matter what she did or how hard she tried. So she turned to her YouTube audience, where she was finally appreciated, and all her followers were so accepting of her despite her shortcomings. Her audience appreciated her and asked her for more, so she gave and gave and gave. Eventually, the abuser became extremely jealous of her success and fame, and he threatened her if she would not stop going to Disneyland, that he would divorce her. So she stopped going to Disneyland for fear of divorce and fear of what would happen to her and the children. So she hadn't went for years. People thought she got banned from Disneyland because she wasn't going. And there was a lot of rumors and things that started that they were not true. Then she found another escape. She found Universal. She started going to Universal, but not as often because it was a very far drive from her home. She would go as often as she could on weekends because she did hold a full-time job and had to take care of her husband and 4 children, which was another full-time job. So it was like she was maintaining 3 full-time jobs, but never complaining. So she found Universal Studios welcoming to her, and she would go as often as she could, even though her husband wasn't approving of it. She still went. As she continued, her Universal YouTube also became a great success. And again, he was getting extremely jealous, and he started threatening her about Universal also. He got to the extreme where he threatened her life and her children's life. She thought to herself she couldn't take it anymore. She bought a pass to Disneyland, which would guarantee her a divorce from her husband. So she started doing her YouTube videos again in Disneyland. She was so happy. 4 years, she was not allowed to go to Disneyland, and she was there again. It was like unbelievable because she is like a kid at heart. She never really got to experience her childhood because she got married at a young age. She was so happy to be allowed to go to Disneyland again, and she started her videos in Disneyland and Universal. She started with the Queen, which went extremely viral. She was even featured on Good Morning America and all other Chinese news stations and Mexican news channels and all kinds everywhere on Twitter. It was just unbelievable how her video started going viral with the Queen in Disneyland. But then all of a sudden, to her extreme disbelief, on one occasion, she was getting false accusations from people that were jealous of her fame. And security came up to her and they told her that last year they warned her about doing certain things, and she was so confused because she wasn't even there last year. She went to City Hall and they claimed there was no such thing and there is no such rule of giving gifts to the characters. So she continued going, and she was literally just walking to the park when security came up to her and revoked her pass and escorted her out. She was treated like a criminal, but she had committed no crime. She tried to ask why, and they wouldn't tell her. She emailed Disney, and their response was that they didn't have to tell her anything. They didn't have to give her an excuse. And finally, she kept calling, and they told her they wanted her to apologize for things that she didn't do. So she agreed to apologize just so she can get her pass back, because she was so frightened of not being able to go back to Disneyland. She listened, unfortunately, and they didn't give her her pass back. We contacted a lawyer, and they stepped in, and over the phone, a meeting was going to be scheduled with a Disneyland supervisor to investigate the matter. But Fatima, in the meantime, not only is going through this unfortunate event with Disneyland, but she's also going through a divorce. This is her only income because her other job she lost because of the divorce. And now she's facing losing her home. And she went into this extreme depression because she just felt like the whole world turned against her. Not only her own world and her family and her religion, but also at Disneyland, which was her favorite place. I don't understand why they did this to her without an investigation. But now she decided to delete her videos and her YouTube and everything and just start over somewhere else. I feel so sad that nobody was able to help us. And I'm asking all her followers and all her YouTube followers to please help her. Right now, she doesn't have money for an attorney. She doesn't have money to pay her bills. And she is facing losing her home. And her husband is completely taking advantage of this whole situation.
Hey, this is Maimuna. I am Fatima's daughter. So just wanted to give a little more side notes about things. So during the time that she couldn't go because of my dad, I was going to Disneyland for her and making videos for her. That was just what was happening during then. And the reason why she deleted her YouTube channel was because she just wanted to start over, and she didn't want to be on social media anymore, and she didn't want her voice on the internet or anything, so she deleted her entire YouTube channel and Instagram and all that. Some people were asking me if I'm going to re-upload her videos onto my channel or just continue making videos, and no, I'm not going to do that. It was not my thing, it was her thing.
If you have any questions, please contact me or Maimuna, my granddaughter. And we feel very sad that her channel has been deleted because it brought joy to many people. I'm so sorry that happened.